This is the I2C data logger. The purpose of the I2C data logger is to store the temperature, date, and time into the EEPROM through one day. This is the overhead view and this is the side view. Now I'll show you how it works on the serial plotter. So this is the I2C data logger. As you can see, it's fluctuating between 24 and 25 degrees. And now onto the code. Because there's a time constraint, I'll be explaining this pretty briefly. But basically, firstly, I used two libraries, timer1 for the interrupts and the wire library for everything else. I defined the addresses of the three hardware components, the TC74, RTC, and EEPROM. I defined the interrupt pin and the sequential register I'm using in my code, and I defined duration of about a second. A second. And then I made the count equal to 0. I created variables for RTC. Then in my void setup, I begin and start the speed of the serial monitor and plotter. I print in three things that you can read. I make 2 pins usable. I set the interrupt using timer1 library to a second and attaching it to the sequential pulse, which is count plus plus, and then I initiate the wire library. After that, I have 5 functions here that basically are not a part of the loop or void setup, just to make it more concise and easy to read. So in the get all, I ask for seconds, minutes, hour, day, month, year, all from the RTC. In the write EEPROM, I write the data in the pre-EEPROM and I'm storing it. For the read EEPROM, I'm reading the data that's stored. And then in the void loop, I use the variables for RTC. I print the count. I talk to the EEPROM. Then I write to the EEPROM, store the data, and then I read what it has and I write it. Print it in the serial monitor and the plotter. And then do the same thing with the RTC. I get the data, and then I get the time and date, and then basically I print the time and date. For the TC74, do the exact same thing. I get the data, I get the temperature, and then I print the temperature. And then that's basically a brief explanation of my code. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you found this helpful. Goodbye.